With a victory, Minnesota can clinch the NFC North for a second straight year, something the Vikings have not done since winning 6 in a row from 1973 to 1978. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz, NFL.com's Pat Kirwan. Glad to be with you, breaking down Sunday night's game between the Vikings and the Panthers here on the NFL Preview Show presented by Tyson Anytizers. And Pat, they can clinch the North. It's a team that last week again came up with a big win, 30-10. But it wasn't about Brett Favre. And for 2 weeks in a row now, we're talking about the comments, the questions to Brett are you having issues in December? And he's putting them aside. I'm in the same problem that everybody else is having in this locker room. Are you worried at all?
No, I'm not. I just think that he was playing almost perfect football. So what do? We raised our standard for Brett Favre to perfect. 3 interceptions for all those games. So he's an average guy at some times, and he has his days. We talked about Kurt Warner having an average day. Kurt Warner's going to the Hall of Fame. He had a bad day last week. Brett had a better day than that, and he's going to the Hall of Fame. He's fine. And I think what did they do for us last week? They showed us they could get that running game going again if they needed to or if they wanted to, and they delivered.
But what he's missing is his second leading receiver in Percy Harvin. How big of an issue is that moving forward for this team to not have Percy Harvin if it's a lingering effect?
I talked to Brad Childress about Percy, and yes, there are migraine headaches. And if you haven't had a migraine headache, you're going, what, headaches? You play football? No, can't do it. Sensitive to light. It's really been a problem. They've sent him for a lot of extra tests. They continue to work on it. I think they're going to get him back this week. But in the meantime, if they don't get him back, when you have Adrian Peterson and Chester Taylor, when you have Visanthe Shenko splitting the middle of the field, Bernard Berry, and we forget about him, a vertical threat on the outside on the left, and Sidney Rice, who reminds me so much of Randy Moss, they still have plenty of firepower to get you without Percy Harvin.
And Sidney Rice, who could be a Pro Bowler, maybe should be a Pro Bowler this season for the NFC.
We're voting properly.
Pat, on the other side here, you're talking about the Carolina Panthers. Season's over. You're talking about a team that they're not going anywhere. What they're playing for is jobs for next season. And it's not just the players. It's the coaching staff. And this is a game on national TV where everybody's going to see it. How important is this to John Fox to be in Carolina for next season?
You know, let me say this. I would never fire John Fox. John Fox won 13 games last year. John Fox has incurred a lot of injuries this year. You could look at the decision to pay Jake Delhomme and criticize that. That's not enough ground to fire the guy. Now, what is he up against, that being John Fox? There are some marquee people still out there. The speculation that Bill Cowher is going to rush into Carolina, don't buy that. All right? Don't buy that propaganda. I think you keep John Fox because of his record last year. He still has a very big contract to be paid off. And he has a history. This is the most important piece of this, and the owner knows it. He has a history of great rebounds. Off bad seasons, John comes roaring back with this football team, and he's got to do that now. Win this game with Matt Moore at quarterback? I don't think so.
Unless Jake Delhomme is going to go, which it doesn't look like he's going to go with the broken finger. But there is the possibility that he could play on Sunday night. But it doesn't make a difference if Delhomme's there or if Matt Moore's there. This is a running football team. Jonathan Stewart, D'Angelo Williams against one of the top 5 rush defenses in the NFL.
Yeah, and what do they do on defense? It's so interesting to me. They're terrific against the run. They're missing the middle linebacker, but Jasper Brinkley played well last week. Oh, that's another story in Minnesota. They had draft picks, one after another, play well. Here's how they defend the run. It's so good because they got the big Williams well inside. All the runs bounce outside. And have you noticed how Antoine Winfield played in his comeback? This guy is the best tackling defensive back in the National Football League. They will slow this running attack down. Carolina's not going to get from the run game what they need to get to win the game. It's going to be a slow day for the Carolina offense.
All right, Vikings on the road. It's Monday. It's a primetime game, so you see it much better than it was 2 weeks ago in Arizona. You see a big Minnesota win.
Yeah, and they just put their tackle on.
Jeff Otah's now on IR.
So now both tackles are on IR, and you're against the best 4-man pass rush in the NFL. Watch out, here come the Vikings.
All right, it's 8:30 p.m. Eastern Sunday night. For more on this game, stay with CBSSports.com. That'll do it for the NFL Preview Show, presented by Tyson Anytizers, the meaty Good Man Snack. For Pat Kirwan, I'm Jason Horowitz.
Take care, folks.